Sarah Strong, and this is Midnight Snack. Grab some popcorn and settle in. Tonight we visit Gotham Archery in Manhattan's Chinatown to throw knives and axes for a real-life game of Fruit Ninja, chat about creativity with my friend from college, Chef Lucas Sin of Junzi Kitchen, and have an epic pasta tasting at West Village spot Olioepiu. Get ready, you're about to get hungry. We're here at Gotham Archery with some of my friends. We're about to throw some knives and axes and some fruit. Chelsea's gonna give me a couple pointers so you can see if we're doing it right.
All right, so do a stagger stance. I do my dominant for forward, you can do non-dominant. You're gonna hold it like an ice cream cone. Nice and loose and delicious.
Love some ice cream.
Yeah, very good. So you're gonna tap and throw all the way through, follow through. Don't flick your wrist.
Okay, show me.
Let's do it.
Awesome. Nope. There we go.
Yeah, one more time.
Okay, let's throw it at some fruit. I believe in you.
I'm really determined here.
Come on, cut it.
Too aggressive.
Cut it in half, so good.
Ooh.
So as you can see, we made some fruit salad, we had some laughs, now we gotta clean up.
Yeah.
Today we are at the new location of Junzi Kitchen in Bryant Park, and we are here with my friend who taught me how to eat ramen and also set me on the road to eating spicy food, Chef Lucas Sin.
Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for having us. So give me like the elevator pitch. What is Junzi?
So, Junzi is a restaurant that we opened 3 years ago. The first restaurant was in New Haven, Connecticut, where we met. Now we're at 4 locations, mostly in New York, as well as in New Haven. And we make everyday Chinese food. So we make Chinese food in a fast casual context that's a little bit contemporary and wholesome and just representative of the simple type of Chinese food that I think you can eat every single day. Junzi started off as an attempt to just do Chinese fast casual because, you know, back in the day, that's what you wanted to do. If you opened a restaurant like 4 or 5 years ago, you would have to have opened a fast casual restaurant. That's the only way viable food business was to a lot of like new business comers. But the founders, the 3 of them and I, we met at Yale in school. And we quickly realized that we should be a little bit more ambitious than just building one restaurant. And we wanted to build a brand that was representative of Chinese cuisine in the US because we wanted to update it and we wanted to reflect the current immigration patterns and real people that were coming to the US from China. So that's what we did. That was our ambition. That still is our mission. And 4 years later, we just opened this lovely, beautiful new spot.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it's kind of in the fast casual mecca.
It is in the Midtown is certainly fast casual mecca. There's a lot of business, there's a lot of traffic, and everybody we respect that we learn from is a couple blocks away from us.
Cool. So in this fast casual setting, how do you get to be creative?
So the weird thing about Junzi is we really enjoy taking ourselves way too seriously, beyond the regular fast casual segment. So I like to do tasting menus. My background was in Japanese fine dining, but I also had spent quite a bit of time cooking pop-ups basically since I was a kid. And to combine the recklessness of pop-ups with the elegance and the narrative and the storytelling of Japanese fine dining, you get these interesting tasting menu kind of ideas. And so we started doing tasting menu pop-ups at the restaurant right here, right where we're sitting. And those are sort of like 5 to 7 course explorations of certain really specific, really esoteric ideas within Chinese food. So a good example is we would look at something like Chinese food and Dominican food. And you would look at what the relationship between Chinese immigration patterns and Dominican immigration patterns are. You'd look at how the flavors intermingle, how they're already similar, and also how Chinese chefs have been fusing Chinese flavors for Dominican populations in the DR or the Washington Heights for whatever amount of time. So you look at all these interesting facts and these ideas, and then you build a 7-course menu that tells that story. That's how we kind of like dig really, really deep into something really, really specific. It's been super fun so far. Every month we do them. The theme changes every single month. It's been Chinese Dominican, we've done Chinese Indian, we've done vinegar, we've done the color red, the relationship between the color red and Chinese food and all that stuff. So it's pretty interesting.
And this is your first location that's not super adjacent to a university.
That is true.
How
we were
is it
university folk in the beginning. We just graduated from college, so we knew universities best. It's different because, well, in this type of market, people have different demands. So in Midtown, there's efficiency and convenience is a huge part of the game. So you have to switch up the way you do things back of house to accommodate that.
And so at the other locations, you have the late night program, which is very college catered. Are you going to do that here? And can you tell me a little bit more about how that came to be?
Well, we call Junzi After Hours. So back in the day when we were in college together, I used to run this place called The Dive. And the Dive was the basement of a dorm, basically. And there was a little kitchen, and we were slinging like quesadillas and burgers. And it was really cool because it was this late night place that was open 7 days, 10:30 until 1:30. And it just became like a congregation space for like college kids. Like drunk kids who want to eat, but also just like kids that were on study break that just wanted food or whatever. And we thought it was really cool to do late night in the same place where people were studying during the day and like going to the dining hall during the day and whatnot. So we liked the idea of transforming our daytime lunch specific restaurants into something that was totally different at night, something that was funkier and more indulgent and just like a little sillier. And we do our take on Chinese American food. You know, we have like a General Tso's chicken on there. We have fried rice, dumplings, that sort of thing.
And are you going to do that in this location?
We
or
will,
TBD? Or
TBD over here. We're still looking at how late night functions here in Midtown.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, some people work late.
Some people work late, but we also do delivery, online order, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So lately you've got a lot of accolades. Most people who design menus or are associated with fast casual brands aren't getting these kind of national recognition.
It's kind of weird. We would get, we've been getting calls from people who usually give awards to hotel chefs, you know. Accolades in the culinary world usually are dedicated to really high-end food of a certain price point. But recently, the cool thing that I've noticed in food media is that a lot of people are moving away from just high-end and fine dining towards culture and storytelling. And I think that's one thing that Junzi really prides itself in doing, is trying to tell the Chinese culinary story in the contemporary context. Like, yes, you can come for lunch, you get your food in however many minutes, and it's fast casual and it makes sense. But if you wanted to dig a little deeper, you should be able to learn something new about Chinese food every time you come. For the events, that's kind of the epitome of like learning about the depths of Chinese culinary culture. So it's been cool to see media kind of like recognize these efforts. And it's not just us, right? It's diners in Brooklyn that are telling LGBTQ stories. It's like Cambodian restaurants in LA that tell amazing stories, like Korean restaurants that like now say, hey, you need to pay attention to this type of flavor because it's new and it's exciting. And so it's been really cool to be included in these events and awards. You know, you're right next to the chef of the Nomad. You're just like, this guy is so much more accomplished than we are. Like, we just started doing this. We have no idea what we're doing here. But then they're like, you know, everybody needs to hear everybody's story, so it's been pretty fun.
So when like Star Chefs calls and when Eater calls and they're like,
we've been coming to your restaurant, and I was like, oh, you sure? Like, if you want to come to the tasting menu, we can sit you down. Like, I'll do the magic thing and do the tasting menu, and like you guys will be blown away by all this like interesting Chinese technique. And they're like, no, we just want the regular stuff. And they come and take photos of the regular stuff, and they're like, you sure this is like a $9 or $10 bowl of noodles? Like, it's pretty straightforward. Like, it's really simple home cooking, and we're not saying that it's the craziest thing in the world. I'm not saying that this is super crazy flavor. It's just like, this is how I believe Chinese food is going to be in the U.S. in X amount of years. And they're like, yeah, like that's actually really interesting to us. So that's been kind of cool. Yeah.
And you guys change your menu more than a lot of
We like
fast casual
to.
places.
We like to change our menu. We like to change our menu seasonally, just because Chinese cooking is all about seasonality. We like to cook vegetable based, so we cook a lot of vegetables, and vegetables come and go throughout the year. So we change it up, and also it's interesting to introduce new kind of like flavor profiles once in a while. New sauces, new proteins, that sort of thing.
So are you always doing R&D?
Always doing R&D. We are sitting right above the test kitchen.
Oh, no
which
way.
is downstairs, yeah.
That's awesome.
Super
Is that a
fun.
new development?
It's just the first time I have a space to actually cook and focus on new future projects, and so just like dodging around the little tiny New York
Yeah.
City restaurants that we have.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good time.
So when we were cooking ramen in a
Uh-huh.
basement,
Sure.
we were making like tomato soup ramen
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like that janky little blowtorch
Yeah.
in the basement of a
Yeah.
dorm. Was this the dream?
This was not the dream back then. We had to realize this dream by the time we started doing Junzi. By the time we wanted to work on this concept, we started building the dream slowly and slowly. But that doesn't mean that when we're messing around in the dorm and just cooking whatever food for whatever people, that food wasn't important for the development of Junzi so far. Because there are a lot of elements of, again, like community and culture and storytelling that start in a little humble space like a dorm room, where that's what we were doing. We're saying, hey, pay attention to this, just think about the ramen a little bit, think about the food a little bit. It should be an interesting place to eat for you. All that all that is still at the core of Junzi today.
Plus we were making quick bowls of noodles.
Yeah, quick bowls of noodles, I guess. Yeah.
What's next that you can tell me?
I'm excited to start doing events in this space. I'm really excited about Chinese Indian dinner that I want to do with Chef Chinten Pandya of Ada and Rahi. I'm also excited about exploring specifically Oaxacan Sichuan food. I'm interested in the migration of the chili pepper, because everyone thinks Sichuan food is super hot and super spicy, which it a lot of the times
The spiciest
is.
food I've ever eaten.
It absolutely is, but the chili pepper didn't get there until a couple hundred years ago.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much Sichuan food that isn't spicy. So the question is, like, how did the chili pepper get there, and why do these two cuisines both focus on the chili pepper so much, and how do they use it as a starting point for building other types of flavor profiles? So Oaxacan food specifically, for that use of chili peppers, the way I think it resounds with Sichuan culinary style. So yeah, that's really interesting to me. But yeah, events soon. I want to start cooking purposefully story-driven cooking.
And you guys designed this
eventually.
space with events and like that in mind, yeah?
Absolutely. Yeah. This table is where we're sitting can be transformed into a place where you eat with like forks and knives and ceramic plates, and there's a little bit of stage area over there. It's going to be a good time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we can't wait for that. Make sure you check out Junzi Kitchen and follow them on social media so you can see when those events are going to happen. Thank you, Lucas.
Thank you, Sarah.
Hello there. I was just admiring this new book from Olioepiu. It's called Benvenuti a Casa. It's about Italian life, culture, and community, and of course food. So now that I've seen the book, it's time to take a look at the menu. I'm feeling some pasta, and I think I'll take them all. Let's get tasting. So, first course, I have the spaghetti tartare alla carbonara, and I have been told that this is the most Instagrammed dish on the menu here. And I think you can see why. Look at this egg yolk. The homemade pasta is gonna soak all that yumminess up. Besides the egg yolk and the homemade pasta, we've got some pancetta, some pepper, and even some chili oil. This version's gonna be a little bit spicy. I don't know how to twirl. Time for a bite. Gotta get some pancetta. I lost it. It's gonna be so inelegant. Very tasty. Next up, I've got some pasta with clams, or as they say, alla vongole. It's got some Calabrian chili, some leek, some white wine, some parsley. It is really beautiful. It's the seafood pasta on the menu here. Ooh, there's a really nice chunk of garlic. We can take out the clams. Stir up that pasta. I did a better twirl this time. These really nice homemade strands, they're so soft and they really soak up that sauce. This wild mushroom ravioli is absolutely stunning. It's filled with mushrooms and mascarpone, and then it's got some baby kale and a beautiful black truffle sauce. It is definitely one of the most luxurious dishes in this pasta tasting. Get all that sauce. So much truffle flavor. And you get some greens too. This is my friend the lobster. This is an entire half lobster on top of a pasta with a spicy tomato sauce. And this homemade pasta is really just the perfect base for all of these flavors, no matter what. You see that steam? I clearly don't know how to use a fork. Tomatoes are so bright, and then you get the flavor from the lobster. Get some knuckle meat in there. This is really an entire half of a lobster in a dish of pasta. Like, what more could you ask for? Last up, we have this beautiful wild mushroom risotto. It's got multiple types of mushrooms, white wine, lots of cheese. Look how big this seared mushroom is on top. It's really meaty. Get all that good stuff in a bite. So good. Really get the wine and the cheese pulls it all together. That's my favorite part. I can't believe I just tasted all of these amazing pastas. I'm super full, but I would totally recommend you do the same. Maybe bring some friends. It was a lot for one person. That's it for the first episode of Midnight Snack with Sarah Strong. Thanks for watching.
Oh,
Chelsea!